Hall of Famer Bud Grant has died.
Bud Grant is the single most amazing human being I've ever known.
Players and friends remember his life as a gifted athlete and coach. And our Mike Max shares what Grant was like off the field.
That's all the longer it takes, ladies and gentlemen.
Our other big story tonight, a difficult day in Minnesota sports. Legendary Vikings head coach and Hall of Famer Bud Grant died this morning. He was 95. Sports director Mike Max is in tonight, and I know it was important for you to be here to be able to tell Bud's story.
Yeah, just looking at that image, lots of memories, lots of stuff with Bud. As recently as 2 weeks ago, I did a banquet with him, and it's hard to come to terms with right now for a lot of people. He was so much to so many in this market, a Hall of Fame athlete and coach, a father, a grandfather, and a great-grandfather, and a friend to many. Bud Grant influenced lives with a simple wisdom that seemed to come very natural to him.
If we're all alike, that would be a boring life.
And that is what Bud Grant believed. He was a product of the Depression.
I can remember my mother counting the carrots and the potatoes and the rutabagas, and that was for the week, and the beans, and you know, she'd bake a pan of brownies, and I get one brownie a night, and that'd last all week.
But out of Superior, Wisconsin, and after time in the service, he found fame at the University of Minnesota. A three-sport standout, best known for football. He played professionally. And he was good enough to play professional basketball for the Minneapolis Lakers. He transitioned into coaching football in the Canadian Football League for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, where they dominated and eventually brought him back to Minnesota.
Obviously, for Viking head coach Bud Grant and his staff, the job is not to get the Vikings to the top, it's to keep them there.
His personality, mixed with a talented roster, led to the Vikings' rise, 4 Super Bowls.
Bud Grant is the single most amazing human being I've ever known. Everything he said made sense. Every practice, I would stand next to him when I wasn't performing. I wanted to hear everything he said.
In a word, it was wisdom, but all that knew him called it uncommon common sense.
He never told you what you wanted to hear. He always told you what you needed to know. And that's, to me, that alone sets him off from a lot of people.
It was not just the Vikings he touched. He and his wife, Pat, raised 6 children. His son, Mike, ascending to the most successful high school coach in the state at Eden Prairie.
Don't buy it. They'll buy it.
Bud lived in the same home he bought in 1967. It became renowned for annual garage sales. The same artist who was commissioned to do portraits for presidents of the United States did a portrait of Bud. It was in his office. I loved to sit with him and talk. On this day, reflecting on a picture from his college team boarding a plane.
So these are all my teammates in 1948. That's a long time ago.
Oh, it's
It was hanging up back here. I took it down.
Yeah.
You know why?
Why?
There's only about 6 of us still alive.
What kept him young was in part his love for the outdoors, where you got to experience the real Bud Grant.
That's all the longer it takes, ladies and gentlemen.
This was his post-coaching playground.
You're out here in the fall instead of standing on a practice field or in the meeting room or watching game film. So, yeah, I enjoy it, and I don't think I'll make up for all the time I lost, but I'm going to try.
Hall of Fame coach and much more, Bud Grant. I did several interviews with Bud for organizations, and it was there you saw how he resonated.
You got to teach people how to do things and in a logical way. There's something in a way that they'll accept, just like any teacher.
He hosted a popular Sunday night show on WCCO TV with Mark Rosen in the 80s, retiring from coaching at age 58. But because of who he was, he stayed relevant, filled with deep thought.
You do not seem, Bud, as we sit here and talk, like you're afraid of death. Is that accurate? Oh no. I mean that's part of living.
And live he did. Just 2 weeks ago, he was a featured speaker at the NFL Alumni Gala. And just a month ago, he met Vikings fan Isabel Montgomery. She just turned 103 and had a wish to meet Bud Grant.
My brother played with you.
He will forever be remembered for his ability to understand the human condition and the people that he observed that surrounded him.
And I could tell you thousands of Bud Grant stories, but he's the most unusual, remarkable human being that I've ever known.
Because Bud Grant was different, and even at the end of life, he was at peace.
I can sit down and entertain myself because I got good memories. If you don't have good memories and you think of the bad things, well, you don't like to think about them. But I can sit down and look out the window and entertain myself because all my memories are good.
The kid made it. He finally made it.
I got a lot of memories with Bud too, from his backyard, hunting with him, and in his office. And he is such a treasure. And one of his best friends, of course, was Sid Hartman. A little bit later, we'll hear from some of the people that interacted with Bud in his life, that he influenced, and the influence that he had on Sid and Sid on him, coming up a bit later.
Well, and tough as nails, but still loved, respected, admired in so many ways.
When you were with him one-on-one, I used to stop by his house and we'd just sit and talk, and you always came out of there, Paul Wiggum was assistant, says, like you get a 4-level course, a graduate course in life. And that's the best way to explain it. Anybody that sat down with him and talked to him for a while felt like they got smarter because they're with Bud Grant. And there's not many people you can say that about. Yeah.
All right. Thank you, Maxie. A lot of Vikings and NFL greats and notable Minnesotans sharing memories and tributes online. Norman Seawright joining us now with a look at what's being said about Coach Grant tonight.
Yeah, guys, these tributes have been pouring in all day, and they continue to pour in as people remember the man Bud Grant was and the way he impacted people around him. Governor Walz says Bud Grant made a generational impact on Minnesota sports, and even more of these continue to roll in. Tommy Kramer saying, "I love you, Bud," with a simple photo of the two of them. Pete Carroll, the football coach, sending so much love to the Grant family. He honestly felt if anyone could live forever, would have been Bud. He says he would forever hold him as an incomparable spirit. Greg Coleman also sharing some words here, said they had a special bond of mutual respect and admiration as well. So these have been continuing to go. And honestly, if you go through Twitter, you'll see these all day. Tony Dungy said he lost a mentor. We lost a legend in Bud Grant. So all of these tributes continuing to roll in, Derek, as we just continue to remember Bud Grant, the man he was, and the impact he had.
Yeah, and we'll continue to do that throughout the newscast. Thank you, Norman. In our next half hour, more from Fran Tarkenton and Chuck Foreman about Bud Grant's legacy, and we'll share more videos of Bud from the WCCO archives.
Minnesota and the sports world beyond remember Bud Grant today. We've been talking about this legend of a man all day, and we will continue to do that. He guided the Vikings to 4 Super Bowl appearances and was 1969 NFL Coach of the Year after the Vikings won the final championship game before the AFL-NFL merger. The Vikings sent over some video of Bud Grant's office at TCO Performance Center, decorated quite simply, noting his affinity for hunting, displaying honors he'd received, and photos with others. He also strongly preferred his office to have a window. Mike Max will have more for you later in our show. In the spirit of Bud Grant, Minnesota United Football Club played their home opener today in snowy conditions at Allianz Field.
Also tonight, bidding farewell to Bud.
The Winnipeg Blue Bombers team freshman coach Bud Grant.
The football community mourns the loss of an all-time great.
The football world is in mourning after the loss of Blue Bomber great Bud Grant tonight. Grant was a 3-time All-Star as a wide receiver and defensive back for the Blue and Gold from 1953 to 56. The following year, he took over as head coach and led the Blue Bombers to 4 Grey Cup championships over the next decade. Grant also guided the Minnesota Vikings to 4 Super Bowl appearances during an 18-year coaching stint in the NFL. He was elected to the Canadian Football Hall of Fame in 1983 and the Pro Football Hall of Fame in 1994. Bud Grant was 95 years old.
He is probably the most remarkable man I've ever known.
Tonight, we pay tribute to legendary Vikings coach Bud Grant. Tonight, we're remembering former Vikings legend Bud Grant. He is the Hall of Fame coach that died today at the age of 95. After leading the Vikings for 18 seasons in the 60s, 70s, and 80s, he's now perhaps the most recognizable figure in Minnesota sports history. Randy Shaver takes a look at his legacy.
Early on in my career here at CARE, Bud Grant said something to me I've never forgotten. You can ask me anything, it's how you ask me that matters. With Bud, it was always about respect. And tonight, we honor the man who brought so much respect to Minnesota sports. He will always be the face of Minnesota Vikings football. Harry Peter Bud Grant Jr. The Vikings Hall of Fame head coach led the Purple to 4 Super Bowls between 1970 and 1977. The glory years.
Here's our leader right there.
And some 40 years after their final Super Bowl appearance, when we brought former players and assistant Jerry Burns together with Bud, you could feel the impact Grant made on their lives.
We love Bud. We love Bud.
Why is that?
Because he made order seem right. Just putting that order or that discipline component in there.
Never called me coach, he always called me boss.
Yeah, boss man.
That's a good start, right?
But you know, it was a situation where you just felt the confidence that you could do things, because first thing he did was eliminate mistakes.
Winning helps.
And winning helps.
Cures a lot of ills.
Yeah.
There was a lot of winning under Grant. 161 victories in 18 seasons, 12 division titles. He rarely showed emotion. Stoic is how he was usually described, except for this one time when you can see Bud absolutely lose it on the sidelines. This is rare video indeed. He had a famous quote: "A good football coach needs a patient wife, a loyal dog, and a great quarterback, but not necessarily in that order." Bud had all three, with fellow Hall of Famer Fran Tarkenton as that QB.
He is probably the most remarkable man I've ever known. He was the most consistent guy. Whenever he opened his mouth, it wasn't a lot of words, but every word made sense. But Bud is Bud. It's just, he is like no other head coach that's ever been.
Bud Grant was a star athlete in his own right, from Superior, Wisconsin to the University of Minnesota.
I remember my grandparents drove me down from Superior. I arrived, they dumped me off at Cook Hall, and my bags, and I walked in, and the guy that pulled up next to me was Sid Hartman.
That was 1946, when Bud and longtime Star Trib columnist Sid Hartman began a lifetime of friendship. It was also when Bud Grant, number 13, became a football star for the Gophers. He actually was a great all-around athlete, playing basketball and baseball as well. Bud left the U to play for the Minneapolis Lakers in 1949, and that experience, he says, led him into coaching. And the rest, as they say, is history. But even on his greatest day, being inducted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame in 1994, Bud was quick to credit others, like longtime offensive line coach John Michaels.
John should be standing here today with me for all that he's done, and I thank him.
Yeah, he's a hell of a man, and he's done a great job of coaching, and the National Football League will probably never have another one quite like him.
There won't be another like him. He was a World War II veteran, thus the importance of the infamous Viking formation during the national anthem. Respect was big in Bud's life. So was family. Bud loved them all and taught them so much by his actions about how to live life.
What, me worry? 6 below, in his golf shirt.
And he did it his way. Like the time at age 88, Bud decided to wear a short-sleeved Viking shirt in -6-degree temperatures during the ceremonial coin flip of a home wildcard playoff game at TCF Bank Stadium.
I drove him down there that day. He goes, I'm thinking of going out there without a coat on. And I go, yeah. He goes, what do you think? I go, well, the crowd's going to go crazy. You know, they're going to love it. The guy didn't wear gloves. He didn't, he was a tough guy. He was a, true Minnesotan, at the old mat. All those things will tie together, and the way the Vikings won in the cold, I think that's what people will remember.
And he was a character. One reason why his infamous garage sales were so successful. But it was the way he led men that defines him and always will.
Bud was our leader. I mean, we were all friends, we worked together, we all fought together, we did everything together. And that's a type of team that really stayed together, and we're still together.
I'm honored to tell this story tonight because I can't think of anyone I respect more in my 40-plus years of working in this TV market than Bud Grant. My condolences to his family.
Our tribute continues with Devon Ramin, who talked with people who knew him.
It's a sad day, but yet
It's a day to also pay tribute to a great icon.
Which is what former Vikings general manager Jeff Diamond and so many others who knew and loved Bud Grant are doing, reflecting on cherished memories of times past.
He holds a very close tie to me in my heart.
Before becoming general manager, Diamond served as the operations director during Grant's tenure.
Compared to the image that a lot of people have of Bud as being very stoic, those that didn't really know him, but Bud had a great heart and was very emotional. I was very honored to attend his Hall of Fame induction in Canton, Ohio back in the mid-90s, and that was a very emotional time, and I saw the emotion of Bud Grant come out in that speech.
Yet today, the emotions being poured out for the beloved coach are somewhat surreal for former Vikings quarterback Tommy Kramer, who attributed his successes to his former coach.
It's hard, somebody that you know so well, and they're so genial and everything.
Kramer and former Vikings defensive tackle Henry Thomas had just spoken with Grant before his passing.
We're supposed to do an appearance together at Canterbury Downs. And last night, when everybody spoke, he said, "I'm not feeling well. I may not do it tomorrow."
Hoping he'd pull through and show up, as he did even after his coaching days were up.
I've always known Bud my whole time here with the Minnesota Vikings. I never played for him, but he was in the office. He's always there. He was always a legend.
A legend whose legacy will live on through those he leaves behind.
There's a special place in my heart for Minnesota, and Bud's definitely a part of it, and he's going to be missed.
Now, everyone we spoke with says they will be praying for and thinking about the Grant family over the next few days, which I'm sure can be said for many of us here in Minnesota and beyond.
That's right, Devon. Thank you. I spoke with another one of Grant's former players, Carl Eller, just about a half hour ago. He shared with me some really great memories, but you can listen in his own words what he had to say about a coach that changed his life.
I think everybody needs a Bud in their life, and I'm really happy that Bud was in my life for the time there was, and I got to know him as the time went on. So I'm really fortunate that I got to know Bud and be coached by Bud.
Bud Grant, truly a legend. You can find more.
Legendary Winnipeg Blue Bombers head coach Bud Grant died on Saturday. Grant became the Blue Bombers head coach in 1957 at the young age of 29, making him the youngest head coach in CFL history. He led the team to 6 Grey Cup appearances, winning the trophy 4 times. In 1967, Grant left the Blue Bombers to become the head coach of the Minnesota Vikings, leading them to 4 Super Bowl appearances. He was inducted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame in 1994.
Next. We have some sad news to pass along as former head football coach Bud Grant has died at the age of 95. He also played 2 campaigns in the NBA before switching sports, but in his 28 seasons as a bench boss on the gridiron, his teams reached the playoffs 20 times. And even though he was born in Wisconsin, has roots right here in Canada, the first individual to be inducted into both the CFL and Pro Football Hall of Fame. Grant became the Winnipeg Blue Bombers head coach in 1957 at the age of 29, making him the youngest head coach in CFL history. He led the team to 6 Grey Cup appearances, winning it all 4 times. Then in 1967, left the Bombers to take over for the Minnesota Vikings, leading them to 4 Super Bowl appearances. And, as mentioned, was inducted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame in 1994. Bud Grant was 95 years old.